delegation of the European Union to take the seat in the dais. त्यसै गरी आज हाम्रो निमन्त्रणालाई स्वीकार गरेर पाल्नुभएका डिस्ट्रिक्ट लगायत प्राइभेट सेक्टरको विद्युत व्यक्तित्व हुनुहुन्छ अम्बिका म्याडम लगायत सबै रिप्रेजेन्टेटिभहरूलाई र अब कार्यक्रमको उद्देश्यमाथि र यहाँलाई सबैलाई स्वागत गरिदिनु हुन शिक्षा मन्त्रालयका वित्त सचिव डाक्टर रामदेव
कार्यक्रमको जुन आजको प्रारम्भ छ यो अलिक फरक ढङ्गले हामीले गर्न खोजेका छौँ। पहिलो कुरो के भने जसरी हामीले शिक्षा क्षेत्रमा एकीकृत संरचना तयार गरेर विद्यालयको स्वरूपलाई परिभाषित गर्ने प्रयास गरेका छौँ, त्यस्तै गरिकन यो व्यावसायिक शिक्षामा पनि एउटा एकीकृत संरचनाको प्रयास यो थालनीले चाहिँ त्यो प्रतिबिम्बित गर्छ र हाम्रो जति छरिएर रहेको अलिकति अब भनौँ विगतदेखि नै हामीले आफ्नो ढङ्गले एकदमै राम्रो काम गरेका छौँ। यहाँहरूको योगदान यहाँहरूको सहयोगबाट धेरै कुरा उपलब्धिपूर्ण हिसाबले त्यो प्रकट नै भएको छ। तर त्यसलाई अब हामीले चाहिँ नेपालको अहिलेको परिवर्तित सन्दर्भमा एकीकृत स्वरूपमा कसरी रूपान्तरण हुने भन्ने सन्दर्भमा चाहिँ छलफल हुँदाखेरि विशेष गरिकन युएनडिपी हाम्रो संयुक्त राष्ट्रसङ्घ विकास कार्यक्रमको साझेदारीमा नेपाल सरकारले यो स्किल्स कार्यक्रमको प्रारम्भ गरेको छ। यसलाई हामीले औपचारिक हिसाबले यो समय पर्खिरहेका थियौँ। अब हाम्रो आन्तरिक तयारी छलफल गर्ने त्यसको संश्लेषण विश्लेषण गर्ने काम भयो। 2015 देखि हामीले 3 वर्षको एउटा रोडम्याप तयार गरेर यो आजको जुन सम्प्रेषण गर्ने यहाँहरू समक्ष प्रस्तुत गर्ने र अब हाम्रो भावी कार्यदिशा कसरी तय गर्न सकिन्छ भन्ने त्यो विश्लेषण सहितको आजको उपस्थितिले त्यो अपेक्षा गरेको छ। र हाम्रो चाहना यहाँहरूको जुन क्रियाशीलता छ विगतदेखि त्यसलाई सार्थक कसरी बनाउने भन्ने चाहिँ महत्त्वपूर्ण पक्ष छ। त्यस कारणले हामीले अब केही राम्रो अभ्यासको थालनी गरेका छौँ, केही कुराको अनुभव पनि छ। जस्तै हामीले मैले अघि पनि भने शिक्षाको विद्यालय क्षेत्रमा राम्रा किसिमले काम गर्ने एउटा तौर तरिका समन्वयात्मक ढङ्गको त्यो कार्यशैली विकास भएको आधारमा पनि हामीले व्यावसायिक शिक्षातर्फ पनि त्यही रूपको एकीकृत धारमा एकीकृत स्वरूपमा लैजानुपर्छ भन्ने एउटा पक्ष हो। त्यसको लागि सरकारी निजी जति प्रयास भएको छन् ती सबैको एउटा समन्वयात्मक कार्यशैलीमा चाहिँ जानुपर्छ भन्ने किसिमले यो जुन हाम्रो स्किल्सबाट चाहिँ प्रारम्भ भएको छ। यसमा हाम्रो नेपाल सरकारको आन्तरिक किसिमको समन्वय संयन्त्र पनि परिचालन गर्नुपर्नेछ। जस्तै अब हाम्रो करिब 15-16वटा मन्त्रालय, कतिवटा मन्त्रालय हाम्रो चाहिँ अहिलेको यो कार्यक्रम 10-15वटा मन्त्रालयमा आफ्नो ढङ्गले कार्यक्रम चलिरहेको छ। 15 अरबभन्दा बढीको हाम्रो चाहिँ त्यसरी लगानी भएको छ। अस्ति कुरा गर्दा 34वटा विषय शीर्षकमा हाम्रो व्यावसायिक शिक्षा कार्यक्रम चलिरहेको छ। त्यो आफ्नो ढङ्गले वैशिष्ट्य होला त्यसको, तर एकीकृत नभइकन 15-16 अरबभन्दा बढीको स्रोत चाहिँ हाम्रो त्यसरी एउटा असङ्गठित स्वरूपमा चाहिँ सञ्चालनमा छ। त्यसलाई कसरी एकीकृत गर्ने भन्ने चाहिँ त्यसको एउटा उठान बिन्दु हो। र त्यसको साथसाथै हामीले सञ्चालन गरेका कार्यक्रमको आन्तरिक समन्वय गर्ने कुरा पनि अत्यन्त टर्कारो छ। टार्गेट सेटिङमा हाम्रो कार्यक्रमको जति दिशानिर्देश हुनुपर्ने थियो, जस्तो हामीले भनौँ अहिले आन्तरिक जुन अब बजारको स्वरूप छ, बजारमा चाहिने जनशक्तिको एउटा आफ्नो किसिमको चरित्र छ, त्यो चरित्रलाई पनि बुझ्नुपर्ने आवश्यकता छ। हामीले कस्तो जनशक्ति खोजेका छौँ भन्ने कुरा पनि यसले केही उठान गर्न खोजेको छ। र बाह्य बजार जस्तै अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय बजारमा पनि अब अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय बजारलाई टार्गेट गरेर गर्ने हिसाबले हाम्रो त्यो चाहना छैन। अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय बजार जोडिने कुरा एउटा जरुरी हो, तर नेपालकै बजारलाई केन्द्रित गरेर हाम्रो बजारले कस्तो जनशक्तिको अपेक्षा राख्छ अथवा हामी कसरी आफूलाई तयार गर्छौँ भन्ने किसिमले ती सबै कुराको समायोजित स्वरूपमा चाहिँ अगाडि बढ्नुपर्छ भन्ने र त्यो चाहना अनुसार नै यो स्किल्स कार्यक्रमलाई चाहिँ हामीले यहाँ समक्ष प्रस्तुत गरेका छौँ। र यहाँको उपस्थितिबाट हामी अत्यन्त गौरवान्वित छौँ कि तपाईँहरूको आफ्नो विगतको जुन विरासत छ त्यसलाई पनि एउटा साकार पार्ने एउटा अवसर पनि हो। र साथसाथै हामीले के चाहिरहेको छ भने यो 3 वर्षको जुन प्रारम्भिक चरणको कार्यक्रम छ त्यसबाट विस्तारित गरेर नेपाल सरकारको कार्यक्रमलाई पनि एउटा सगोल बनाएर त्यसलाई सङ्गठित रूपमा अगाडि बढाउने र साथसाथै बाह्य स्रोतलाई पनि परिचालन गरेको जुन अवस्था छ त्यसलाई पनि सङ्गठित गर्ने हिसाबले एकीकृत कार्यढाँचामा जाने भन्ने एउटा लक्ष्य यसको भयो। र अर्को कुरो जानकारीको सङ्गठनको हिसाबले पनि हामी धेरै छरिएको धेरै किसिमका जानकारीहरू आफ्नो ढङ्गले चाहिँ सम्प्रेषण भएका तर एउटै कन्सोलिडेटेड स्वरूपमा नगएको कारणले त्यो प्रयासमा पनि हामीले यसलाई चाहिँ अगाडि सार्न खोजिरहेको छौँ। त्यसले गर्दाखेरि इन्फर्मेसनको कन्सोलिडेटेड इन्टिग्रेटेड अप्रोचमा पनि यसको केही न केही चुल चाहिँ साकार स्वरूप चाहिँ तय हुन्छ भन्ने हिसाबले हामी अगाडि जान यसमा केही प्रयास गरिरहेका छौँ। यहाँहरूको पृष्ठपोषणको आधारले आजको यो एउटा चाहिँ छलफलले रोड म्याप पनि दिन्छ। किन हामीले एउटा किसिमले आफ्नो नेपाल सरकारको अहिलेको जुन स्वामित्व छ, आफ्नो क्रियाशीलता छँदैछ, तर त्यसलाई अझै पनि परिष्कृत गरेर कसरी अगाडि लान सकिन्छ। अहिलेको समय सन्दर्भमा भूकम्प पश्चातको अवस्थाले अझ हामीलाई चाहिँ एउटा नयाँ ढङ्गको चेतना जगाएको छ। हाम्रो बजारको अवस्था, रोजगारको स्थिति, यी सबै कुराले गर्दा पनि नेपालको परिवर्तित संविधान पश्चातको जुन किसिमले हामीले केही प्रतिबद्धता गरेका छौँ, संविधानको जुन किसिमको भावना त्यसमा प्रतिबिम्बित भएको छ, त्यसलाई सम्बोधन गर्ने गरिकन पनि हामीले यसलाई पुनर्परिभाषित गर्नुपर्ने, नयाँ ढङ्गले यसलाई चाहिँ हाम्रो अहिलेको उपयोगिता सिद्ध गर्नुपर्ने भएको कारणले पनि जुन रूपमा यहाँहरूले विश्वविद्यालयमा, विद्यालय तहमा, औपचारिक अनौपचारिक सबै क्षेत्रको एउटा सङ्गठित स्वरूप चाहिँ कसरी अगाडि लान सकिन्छ भन्ने यो प्रयासले चाहिँ त्यो अपेक्षा गरेको छ। र त्यसको साथसाथै हामीले एउटा चाहिँ अर्को महत्त्वपूर्ण पाटो के भने जे हामीले गरेका छौँ त्यसको विश्लेषण हुन आवश्यक छ। त्यसको एउटा अलिकति सही ढङ्गले हाम्रो जुन अहिलेको काम गरेको मूल्याङ्कन हुनु पायो भने अनि त्यसको आधारले हाम्रो चाहिँ नेक्स्ट लेभलको अथवा नेक्स्ट जेनेरेसनको काम पनि त्यसले तय गर्छ भन्ने आधारमा चाहिँ हामीले अब विद्यालयदेखि ल्याएर समुच्च रूपमा बजारको सम्बन्ध कसरी स्थापित गर्ने र हामीले अहिले गरेका कामहरूलाई चाहिँ एउटा सम्बोधन हुने किसिमले चाहिँ त्यो परिभाषित गर्नुपर्छ अथवा पुनर्परिभाषित गर्नुपर्ने पनि त्यो आवश्यकता छ भन्ने हिसाबले हामीले यो कुराको उठान गरेका छौँ। हामीले एकीकृत संरचनामा जाने किसिमले मैले अघि नै अनुरोध गरेँ, त्यो उद्देश्यमा यहाँको क्रियाशीलता रहन्छ भन्ने हामीले त्यो अपेक्षा गरेका छौँ। र नेपालमा यहाँलाई आज स्वागत गर्दै यो यहाँको उपस्थितिले हामी सबैलाई प्रेरित गरेको छ र त्यो सोचको एउटा तत्त्वसहितको हाम्रा थुप्रै एक्सर्साइज भएको छ, त्यसलाई पनि उपयोग गरेर हामीले चाहिँ यसमा कन्सोलिडेट गर्ने र यसलाई पुलको रूपमा यहाँलाई यो आजको अवसरलाई उपयोग गरिदिनु हुनेछ। हामीलाई पृष्ठपोषण गरेर एउटा मार्गदर्शन गर्ने एउटा चाहिँ मलाई लगाएको छ र धेरै कुराहरू मैले पछि बिचमा बस्छु म, त्यही हिसाबले धेरै साथीहरू अब नेपाली बोल्ने, नेपालीकै जीवनशैलीमा जोडिएको भएको कारणले
Now I would like to request Dr. Sophie
launching of the skills project. And skills, to remind you, stands for support to knowledge and lifelong learning skills. This is not necessarily a very new project. This project was officially initiated right before the earthquake. And unfortunately, developments that happened after that somehow delayed the real start of the project, which only happened towards the end of the year, last year. But I'm very happy that despite this, we are here, we are standing in front of you, and we will be sharing what the project is all about and what are the objectives of it, and how we see partnerships built with yourselves. This is the first event of this project, and as everything first, we will be remembering this event, really marking it with very, very big emotions. What I want to say, I want to be very light in my remarks because you see the agenda, which is quite heavy for today, and Bhavani-ji will be presenting the objectives and activities which are envisioned under the program. I want to say is that the program's main objective is to ensure a programmatic coherence and productive engagement of the private sector in technical and vocational education provision. And by definition, this means that the program has to build and has to work through very, very active partnership with all stakeholders in technical and vocational education. To start with, of course, it is Ministry of Education, which is the owner of this program and driving force behind this program, and which has very special mandate in technical and vocational education. This is also Council for Technical Education and Vocational Training, which has a role in regulatory framework and also in contract management in Tibet. This is, of course, the private sector. And again, by the objectives of the program, of course, it will be aiming at ensuring greater engagement and meaningful engagement of the private sector in technical and vocational education sector. But here, to explain myself, we do not only mean the role of the private sector as a provider or a consumer of the vocational education. we all agree that there is a greater role that the private sector can play in the design and management of support to skills development. And we all know that this is maybe an area which has great potential for improvement. And of course, the development partners who have been supporting the technical and vocational education for many, many years now. And as you understand, this project works at the policy cohesion level, so partnering with you will be, of course, of paramount importance for advancing the policy agenda, basically, in technical and vocational education. The role of the technical and vocational education cannot be underestimated in any setting. And I am sure that everybody sitting in this room appreciates the role that vocational education plays for advancing economic development in this country, for advancing sustainable development, poverty reduction, employment, inclusion, and you just name. I want to make reference to the recently adopted Sustainable Development Goals or Global Development Agenda now for 2030. And if you look at the goals, again, you can see the role and you can see the place for vocational education under each of them, almost under each of them. So from that point of view also, the technical education is very important. Now, another important dimension that I want to mention today, this is related to the post-earthquake setting. And we are here and we will understand that it is an overarching agenda for the entire country to recovery, but also reconstruction in the medium term. And we all see how vocational education could facilitate and could play a very important role in that setting. But to look from the other side of this equation, in fact, earthquake, we all know that has very, very strong economic impacts in general, and then the recovery in most of the cases is changing demand for the skill sets and demand for the labor. So this obviously affects the way how the providers of technical and vocational education can and should work in the future. On the other hand, I want to say that we also witnessed that many facilities for technical and vocational education suffered damages during the earthquake, which of course is a great loss. However, as we often say here, let's look at it from the opportunity point of view, and let's rethink the delivery of vocational education also from the infrastructure point of view. So again, this is also something that we need to strategize and we need to think together how to go in the future about vocational education facilities. And a last thing I want to say in the post-earthquake setting is that this is also a great opportunity to link Tibet more closely with entrepreneurship and also, again, from infrastructure point of view, perhaps merge provision of vocational education with building small entrepreneurship units within the vocational schools. So these are all the things that could be thought through before we engage in large-scale restructuring of the vocational education centers. Now, why UNDP and why this project? Maybe you know that in general, UNDP office in Nepal does not have explicit track record in providing support to the government in technical and vocational education. This is true and not true at the same time, because the country office has supported development in tourism sector quite some time back, and then the whole work which we were doing in MEDEP for entrepreneurship development, this is quite largely skills development and skills training, but also the recent activity for Masons training, now together with CTBT, is also related to vocational education. And globally, UNDP has very good track record in advancing the Tibet agenda in various countries. So from that point of view, the invite that we received from the Ministry of Education to support policy cohesion project was not necessarily unexpected for us. And in a sense, the thinking that time was to bring somebody who had no necessarily previous experience in implementing Tibet programs in Nepal. What I want to say is that each of the development partners in fact present here, of course, has much bigger track record in supporting vocational education in Nepal than UNDP. And that's why we will be very much looking forward to working with you and to partnering with you to make sure that your great work on the ground is captured and is accommodated in the policy decisions and also we are able to properly communicate to you from where we stand, what are the needs and how you can support implementation on the ground. So with this, let me take this opportunity to once again thank the Ministry of Education and Lava sir, you are here representing the Ministry of Education for the cooperation, for the partnership and for trust in UNDP, and let me express hope that this project will meet your expectations, this project will meet the expectations of the country in advancing the agenda for Tibet, and I also hope for great partnership and cooperation with each of you. Thank you.
Okay, for your remarks and for highlighting the key issues on Tibet as well. Now, Rotager, head of the cooperation delegation of the European Union in Nepal, to highlight on the development partners policy review and the private sector's engagement. Please, Andreas.
Chair of the session, Dr. Fields Program, Dr. Sophie Kamkatze, Deputy Director of UNDP Country Office, Senior Government Official. I have the chance to be here with you this morning. It's a pleasure and an honor to share a few thoughts from the EU perspective, perhaps not representing all development partners, but just from the EU perspective. Nepal can reach its true potential. And why? Because even in very adverse situations, it developed. This happened during the time of conflict, and it happened even in the last years. Absolute poverty decreased from well over 40% to now about 24% in the span of 2 decades. Life expectancy in the country is now reaching about 70, 71 years. People are more literate, people are more healthy. That is good news. But to genuinely unfold the potential and to really accelerate towards LDC graduation for inclusive and sustainable economic growth, stronger effort is needed. Average growth rates in the country during the period 2001 to 2011 were about 4%. If you look at the more recent past, the figure would be even less. And this is not enough to achieve inclusive and sustainable development. Therefore, a sense of urgency is definitely needed, and so is a collective effort to rigorously pursue the agenda of reconstruction in the first place, but also of developing the country to reach its full potential. This requires development of infrastructure, hydropower being one symbolic feature here. And actually, this year, reading in the newspaper that a big investor decided not to come and invest 1.5 billion US dollar is not encouraging. I think people really need to look into the why, and people need to see, and policymakers, how is the investment climate in the country that you really can take off. Development in the people also is needed. We all know that economic growth is the product of several factors: capital, productive means, technology and infrastructure, and above all, labor. Nepal, so we can read from academics and researchers, has now a period of the so-called demographic dividend. This window may be a window open for 20 years or so. What is the demographic dividend? It is a situation where the workforce, the active working population in number is bigger than those of the dependents. This offers real opportunities. The demographic dividend will peak in 2021, when about 60% of the Nepali population will belong to the workforce. A dividend should not become a hypothec. What is needed is to translate it into decent jobs. Into decent jobs in the sense of higher added value, higher productivity, and higher earnings also of the labor. And here we come to the theme of today and the launch event of skills and why all this is so important. TVET is crucial as an ingredient for accelerated economic growth. Studies in this field suggest that the labor market is characterized by a few distinct elements. Above all, a massive, at the moment, annual entry on the labor market of almost 500,000 people, 450,000, each year currently. Secondly, most of them who enter the labor market are basically unskilled. There is a share, so I read, of unskilled workers, which is about 2/3 of the workforce. And the predominant share of the predominant share of the workforce is actually about 95%, 95% untrained. Another characteristic is that each day, perhaps at the moment slightly decreasing, a huge number is seeking pastures seeking greener pastures abroad. Migration. There were days when 1,500 people left the country, and not just single days, but in weeks and months consecutively. And we all know the role remittances play for the economy. So, lack of skilled labor is one of the key constraints for economic growth. There is no doubt about this. And what is needed is that this economy is undergoing a transition from a largely subsistence agrarian economy to a more mixed economy where demand for basic to mid-level technical skilled workers is growing rapidly, especially also in the service sector. All this will also require, by the way, the proper legal framework on labor laws, not to prevent the entrepreneurs to contract. The TVET sector plays an important role and will play an increasingly important role in this pursuit of a transformation of Nepal to reach its true potential, to transform human beings also into economic assets for the development of the country, to help all of us to really pursue all these plans, particularly the national strategic plans, so that the goals of a genuine, inclusive and sustainable development will be achieved. For about 10 years, development partners have also joined hands with the government in this sector, and we see an increasing number of private providers of TVET, technical training. The government has taken on to have TVET also as a subject in the curriculum. All this is encouraging. Yet, at the same time, we can observe 4 points, including insufficient and inequitable access across the country. Second, still rather poor quality and low relevance for the market of the training provided. Thirdly, yes, there is still a weak institutional capacity which need to be strengthened. And finally, there is a huge gap in investment. All these are reasons why also the EU, as one development partner, is engaging in the TVET sector, and we will do this even more so as of this year with the 20 million euro program, the TVET Practical Partnership. It is a program together designed with the government that intends to contribute to inclusive and sustainable growth through investment in human capital and by creating better job opportunities, in particular in 3 sectors: agriculture, construction, and tourism. This project will aim to develop practical partnerships. What does that mean? It will mean that indeed it's not only a cooperation with the government, but particularly business and industry associations as the transmitter to the private sector will play a key role in this program. We will, in particular, together with CTVET, aim on structured training with this program for, amongst others, the existing workforce. All these unskilled workers where the productivity level is not yet reaching its full potential. And enhancing productivity will be done by a strategy of skilling, reskilling, and upskilling.
So, thank you very much, Dr. Kanal. The photographer is blocking our visual. All right, thank you very much. Easy. Not a project, because projects are away for years. So initial phase is 2017, 2015, 2017. We are already in the middle. Ministry of Education is the lead agency, working together with UNDP, responsible party, Council for Technical Education and Vocational Training. We are working very closely. Initial support, token support, not full-fledged support in the initial phase. We look forward to a full-fledged skills program in the years ahead. In the program management board, execution board, CTVT is a senior beneficiary. So, education, and it is led by the Joint Secretary of Planning Division, senior supplier UNDP, and assistant contributor in the program board, but it is not confined. Our team, only 1, 2, 3, 4 people, 5 people at present. Consultants, experts, specialists in Nepal and also from other countries. As Andy has mentioned before, associations, employers, and all. So we have already started this. Private sector engagement in Tibet policy and programs are made. They may not be always correct decisions. So this is also a very important component of the program. Knowledge management, knowledge networking, because there are lacking impact evaluation. Evaluation at the level of impact, not at the level of output only. So these are the two major reforms. If some refinement, reformation, positive changes have to take place in Tibet sector, how do skills relate to that, contribute to that? Improve coordination among Tibet actors. For example, today we are of Tibet. Curriculum, assessment, testing, certification, pre-training, post-training, and during training. This is what is happening in other countries that we have seen. We are going to install this mechanism based on the exact needs of the information and data needed for plan, for regulating, for governing Tibet in Nepal. So this is basically the government needed aspect. Minimize fragmentation of resource and resources. Improve quality of Tibet programs and services. Ultimately. Now, we are only 6 months old program. In fact, I joined this program in mid-August.
We are serious, mass this morning. It's always nice to have, bit flexible and then, Rather, I would like to welcome you in my, presentation. This is, you see, the topic Tibet Policy 2012, Review towards Outcome-Led Training. Of course, as presenter I am here, but then we mentioned that these are our opinion. You might brief of the findings. We have a detailed paper. Janardhan sir has prepared a very detailed one, and then similarly Masam sir has also. But then I have compiled them. Based on that, this presentation is done. In your hand, you have, I guess you have a bundle of slides. But then if you like to see, you can find the write-ups in detail. But then as Dr. Sumedi said, maybe we will have sometimes in future to sit down and then talk in detail. Then some of the achievements, after 2012, policy 2012, we are known as, labor, unskilled labor exporting countries. We have to change that, unless we have knowledge about what others are doing, unless we modify our work, we will remain in that status, which is not good for the country. And then, why we have to also see very carefully, particularly the technology and technician skills in India. I don't need to explain, this, very intellectual mass, that our technology is very much tied up with India. Our people, so many people go to work in India. These are the reasons why we have to, see. Let me quickly put. I know I'm taking a lot of time, so I'm going to. Okay. I'll just run through the slides. So India, you see, their target is train large scale with high speed and high standard. They want to train 500 million people by 2022. You can see the volume. No? I mean, of course, people can say that okay, this is the country, the size, but then I would say this is system. Entrepreneurship focus, MVQ, very nicely, as we are also talking, for facilitating horizontal and vertical movement of learners. Outcome-based approach, sector skill council, Make in India. I think this is very interesting. This is going to be brand in India. Make in India. They have identified 25 sectors as major sectors of economy, and then they want to give the notion Make in India, and then Skill India. Industry encouraged to employing certified skilled workers, only certified skilled workers, and then training to all dropouts, housewives, rural youth, and then promotion of learn, earn, and pay. Government wants to give kind of credit to the people who want to learn, and then earn and then pay back, and then to control multi kind of training skill cards. Are we ready to listen? Are we ready to learn from these good things from India? We have to, and then Bangladesh. Sorry. Okay. Which was it? Very few slides. Now, you can call it recommendation, you can call it conclusion, you can call it next steps or lessons learned for Nepal. So, are we ready to listen, take experience from the region, where everything is focused on private sector, competency-based training and assessment. My friends in CTBT and then other ministries can come back and then argue and then tell that I'm wrong. Then I'm very happy. But then it has to be.
So this particular project is titled as Knowledge and Lifelong Learning Skills, Learning and Lifelong Learning. So I'm actually really surprised by while I listened Dr. Subedij and Dr. Pradhan's presentation that this learning component and the lifelong learning is missing. I didn't find. So I hope this is not only in the title of the project, and this is one of the components of the whole project. This is I could assume. I hope it is so. And I'm seeing here who are the invitees. Why am I invited here from university or academia? There are some other people also. So I can assume that the project, the sector, expects some support, some collaboration between university on this particular project, the whole Tibet sector. So how can we, as an university or academia, contribute to this particular project? We are willing, we can sit down and discuss on this, probably to emphasize on aspects like learning or lifelong learning, how the learning contributes to the Tibet, or what is the relationship between learning component and how this could be taken towards the skill aspects and the learning or lifelong learning. So of course I can imagine that there would be some baseline study. There might have been baseline study might have been conducted, or there might be evaluation studies. But then we also need some independent research works to contribute to the project activities or project outcome. Dr. Pradhan emphasized on outcome.
Curricula and skill human resources, developing human resources in that area. This is also missing in the government of Nepal's periodic plans also. They write every chapter, every sector, very well defined targets and resources allocated for 3 years or 5 years. But at the end, how many such human resources are available in the country? Who will fulfill? From where they will come? If you look at into big industry houses or business houses, the highly skilled human resources are still imported from India. We export unskilled labor, we import skilled labor. So this has to be reversed. Otherwise, we'll remain. This has been a long history for the last 40, 50 years. This has been happening and happening. So who will do this research so that which business houses or industries or even a small micro enterprise, small enterprise can absorb 2 or 3 employees? One thing. Number 2, as you said, in Pakistan, there will be no quality of training delivered to the participant or the clients. No? This has to be immediately implemented because we have observed in MEDEP. MEDEP is an extensive project now because government of Nepal has already internalized and institutionalizing in 75 districts. They have reached 74 districts. they have their own curricula and training modules, but still then it is not fitting with CTBT.
यति लामो प्रस्तुतिहरू एकदम साह्रै राम्रो र त्यस पछाडि आगामी दिनको केही खाका पनि कोरियो। यसमा सरहरूले प्रेजेन्टेसन गर्नुहुँदा डमसाहरूले प्रेजेन्टेसन गर्नुहुँदा अलिअलि यता नेपालबाट जाने माइग्रेन्टको पनि कुराहरूलाई गर्नुभयो। अहिले हामी सिटिबिटी, युएनडिपी र नेपाल सरकारसँग कोल्याबोरेसन गरेर यो परियोजना सम्पन्न गर्न लागिरहेका छौँ, सुरुवात गर्न लागिरहेका छौँ भने हामीले जहिले पनि परियोजना सुरु गर्दाखेरि हामी नेपालबाट जाने जनशक्तिको मात्र कुरा गरिरहेका छौँ। अहिले प्रवासमा जाने नेपाली जनशक्ति एकदम अर्धदक्ष, एकदम अनस्किल जनशक्ति दैनिक 1500 को हाराहारीमा गइरहेका छौँ भने फर्केर त्यो 1500 हुँको हुँ पलायन त भएको छैन नि, फर्केर आएको डाटा कसले खोज्ने? एउटा यो मेरो क्ल्यारिफिकेसन भने। अनि त्यो फर्केर आएकाहरू त अब स्किल मेन पावर भएर आएका छन् नि त नि, त्यो स्किल मेन पावरलाई सिटिबिटीले सर्टिफाई गरेर उहाँहरूलाई एउटा स्किल मेन पावर गरेर ट्रेनमा लाउने कि नलाउने, यो परियोजना खाका कोरिरहँदाखेरि यो विषयमा नि सोचियोस् भन्ने मेरो यहाँहरूलाई रिक्वेस्ट हस्। धन्यवाद।
मलाई अत्यन्त खुसी लागेको छ यस कार्यक्रममा वर्कर्स युनियनहरूको पनि प्रतिनिधित्व गराउनु भयो, त्यसको लागि धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छु म ट्रेड युनियनहरूको तर्फबाट पनि। यो सुरुवात पहिलो सुरुवात हो। सिटिबिटीले धेरै तालिमहरू दिएको छ, तर एउटा चाहिँ के भने त्यो दिएको तालिमहरू कतिको स्थायित्व भएको छ त्यसलाई खोजी गर्नु जरुरी छ जस्तो मलाई लाग्छ। तालिम लिने अनि घरमा नै बस्ने हो, त्यसलाई उपयोग नगर्ने हो भनेदेखि त्यस्तो तालिमको कुनै पनि महत्त्व हुँदैन। साथै मलाई अर्को कुरा जस्तो नेपालबाट अहिले करिब 50 लाख श्रमिकहरू बाहिर छन्, उनीहरू स्किल नभएका श्रमिकहरू बाहिर भएका छन्। सरकारले रेमिटेन्स 26-27% यो देशको बजेटको रेमिटेन्स चाहिँ रेमिटेन्सबाट बजेट धानेको छ भन्ने आएको छ। त्यत्रो रेमिटेन्सबाट बजेट धानेको देशले ती श्रमिकहरूको अवस्था र तिनीहरूलाई चाहिँ स्किल बनाएर पठाउनुपर्छ भन्ने सोच राखेको जस्तो अनुभव भएको छैन।
यसभित्रपट्टि हामीले गम्भीर ढङ्गले छलफल गर्नुपर्ने आवश्यकता छ। हामी सायद यो आउने दोस्रो हप्ताभित्र एउटा चाहिँ नेपालको नयाँ शिक्षा नीति समय लिएका छौँ। हामी नयाँ नीति निर्माणको सन्दर्भमा सबै सरकारवालाहरूसँग छलफल गर्न गइराखेका छौँ। एउटा महत्त्वपूर्ण चाहिँ हाम्रो व्यावसायिक प्राविधिक र बहुप्राविधिक शिक्षाको सन्दर्भमा अहिलेको हाम्रो जो सामान्य शिक्षाको जो अन्तर सम्बन्ध छ त्यसलाई हामीले प्रष्ट पार्नुपर्ने आवश्यकता छ। यो मेरो बुझाइमा चाहिँ हामीले बनाउने नेपालको नयाँ संविधान अनुरूपको नयाँ शिक्षा नीतिको एउटा महत्त्वपूर्ण पक्ष पनि हुनेछ। यो त्यस यसको तलदेखि लिएर माथिसम्म एउटा एकीकृत बुझाइको आवश्यकता छ। त्यो त्यति एकदमै प्राथमिकताको विषयवस्तु पनि हो र नेपालले एउटा रणनैतिक ढङ्गको सिफ्ट चाहिँ गर्दैछ। एउटा चाहिँ त्यो आलोकबाट यसलाई हेर्दाखेरि अहिले सामान्य तपाईँले हामी यो खालको बनाउन लागेका छौँ भनेर अस्ति सिटिभिटीको बैठकमा पनि हाम्रो उपाध्यक्षजीहरू सदस्य सचिवजीहरूले त्यहाँ कुराहरू सुनाउनु भएको छ। त्यस कारणले पुरै नेपालको नयाँ आवश्यकताको आधारमा मानिसहरूलाई चाहिँ जीवनोपयोगी ढङ्गले काम लाग्ने खालको चाहिँ स्किलहरू विकास गर्न जरुरी छ। यो सन्दर्भमा अहिले यहाँ चलेको यो छलफलले महत्त्वपूर्ण चाहिँ योगदान दिनेछ। यो सुरुवात हो, यसलाई व्यवस्थित ढङ्गले लैजानुपर्छ। अप्ठ्याराका बावजुद जो तपाईँहरूले कार्यक्रम सुरु गर्नुभयो र अगाडि बढाइदिनु भयो त्यसको लागि म धन्यवाद दिन्छु। तपाईँहरूसँग फेरि अहिले बिदा मागिहाल्ने स्थितिमा हुन्छु। तपाईँहरूले गरेको छलफल पछाडिका त्यसका निष्कर्षहरू चाहिँ म सुन्नेछु मन्त्रालयमा र हाम्रा सहयोगी जो हातहरू छन्, हाम्रा शिक्षाका जो सहयात्रीहरू हुनुहुन्छ उहाँहरू सबैलाई म धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छु र लवदेवजीले मेरो कुरा जस्ता तस्तै राखिदिनुहुन्छ भन्ने पनि मैले आशा र विश्वास गरेको छु। हस्, धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद माननीय मन्त्रीज्यू। अब हामी माननीय मन्त्रीज्यू सँगसँगै के एउटा वेबसाइट अर्को एउटा बाँकी छ मन्त्रीज्यू, अर्को एउटा चाहिँ वेबसाइट लन्चिङको पनि लन्च गरिदिनु पर्ने रहेछ। त्यो वेबसाइट लन्चिङ पछि हामी
म अलि चिया खाइन तपाईँहरूसँग
हस्, हस्।
है ल तपाईँको कुरा राख्नु होला है मैले डिस्टर्ब गरेँ
हजुरलाई हामी पुर्याउँछौँ उहाँको कुरा
Training, 10 days training, 1 month training, etc. But how good is it? Of course, the 3-day training is also necessary for those who already have the training. But the further ones are also necessary. These trainings are so important. CTVT and TVET is very, very important. The main factor just now is CTVT is giving training, has got certification, but that has not been coordinated. People are not knowing that, and coordination is not there. I said the other thing is, in the TVET, I feel that the private sector needs to be involved. They need to be involved not only in the training, but also to see what sort of training is necessary. What are the trainings that are being done right now? The certifications that are coming out. CTVT is doing a lot. Certifications are coming out from them. But are these people really employable? We had talks about NATHAM and other institutes also. They are also taking out people. I'm talking about tourism people. These are being taken out. Also, CTVT is taking out, Tibet is also taking out a lot of trainees for the tourism sector. But are they really good employees? Are they employable? You find that these trainings that they have got, the certificates that they have got from these many, many trainings are not really employable in good institutes. The big institutes, of course, big organizations do their own training. Even though they are trained in many big organizations, they still have to train the employees in their need. But for the general tourism products, the little lodges, the little restaurants, the little hotels, we are talking about homestay now. That is one of the main things that we need to do to raise the poverty level for the general people. Yeah. Are we training? Are we giving them the training? How to handle a visitor? How to work? How to keep the cleanliness? How to do all these? These are factors that I think an employer and somebody who will become an employer, who is an entrepreneur, needs to know to do in their work. I have given out that what the employees expect the candidates who come who applies for a post, that they are very well versed and have quality standards, and for the work for which they have applied, and that they are prompt, ready to work, good attitude, and disciplined. These are things that an employer looks at. He or she may have the certificate, but is she or he prompt? Is that have a quality standard, ready to work in any field? We have found that people who have got the training, they come, and they expect, as soon as they come, get a certificate that they will work only in that post. They will not work in another post. They want to be the manager. As soon as they've got a certificate in some sector, they want to be the manager of that sector. But practically, is that possible? Is that practical? The practical part is you need to have experience. You need to work hands-on. Only training and only that technical training is not going to happen. It's the hands-on work which is needed. And then we need to train the people. So this is where, when we take out our students, our trainees, they have to be made to be disciplined, to be prompt, to be actually very, very proficient in their work that they are learning and they are doing.
so that they are saleable wherever they go. I was asked, government, of course, the government is very, very important for the private sector, in between the private and the public sector to be in partnership. The government has to think of the private sector, not think of the private sector. Being a private sector, I'll have to say that to you, though I don't know if you'll like it or not, but usually the effect that the government officials or any of that sort have is that the private sector is always trying to cheat. They are cheaters. चोरहरू भनेर भन्छ हामीहरूलाई त मार्कै के रहेछ नि जो प्राइभेट सेक्टर छ जसले बिजनेस गर्छ त्यो चोरै हो भन्ने एउटा छ that has to be taken out. You have to trust the entrepreneur. You have to give a trust to the entrepreneur so that that entrepreneur is also straight and doesn't have to go into shady things. So I think the partnership, to do that, the government has a very, very important role. The government has to make laws and different policies so that you can encourage investors and encourage the private sector. You heard just now that the EU gentleman spoke about this big company from Norway who was investing in a very big hydro project has withdrawn. Why did they withdraw when we need investors? We are talking about investors. We are asking for investors. But until the government makes regulations, laws, policies that are friendly to an investor, no investor will come. Even the investors in the country will run away. They will not improve, they will not add more things because they have all the different issues. So I feel that I would request that the government officials here, when you make policies, make it a policy, make regulations that is friendly to an investor, to a private sector. The other thing that I would like to say is, there are training programs. Somebody also said there were trainings and trainings and trainings. Everybody's doing training. This ministry is doing, that ministry is doing, this one is doing, but there is no coordination. I think Tibet is that sector which can make that coordination. I think that is what Tibet should work on, to see that everything is coordinated, that it comes to Tibet to know who is doing what, so that there is no duplication. उसले पनि त्यही गर्यो, अर्कोले पनि त्यही गर्यो, तर कोअर्डिनेसन छैन, थाहा पाइँदैन कसले के गर्यो, कहाँ के छ, त्योलाई कोअर्डिनेसन गर्नु. Tibet, I think, is the body which can do very well. CTVT can do it very well. The other thing is that, जब you do the trainings, you pick up the trainees, how does an employee know what you have brought up? So the coordination and the cooperation and information sharing with the organizations who have the who are the employers, like FNCCI, Chamber of Commerce, all the different organizations, Engineering Association, architects, the construction, and the tourism organizations. They should all know what products are coming out, where they can approach. When a company needs employees, where can they turn to say, this is where we can find these people? So I think that is one of the main things that I feel very important, that there is a coordination and an information sharing between the different organizations, and the training organization. Tibet should have that so that it can be very, very successful and get the employment done. The main factor matter with all the training that we do, all that is done, is to see that the trainee gets into financial work, that that trainee is able to earn. Doesn't matter what, but that trainee is able to work and earn. And that is where we need. The other most important thing that we have is we are sending out, as you know, so many young people out as labor. As somebody said, they should have certificates when they come back. But before they go, I think the government has to make a policy that when you are sending out labor, sending out a young man or a young woman out for labor to a different country, that person should have training in whatever field. Just now in the Middle East, they are going for construction work. They should be trained in masonry, in carpentry, in plumbing, in electricity, all these things that they should be trained in, so that they will get a better pay. As you know that when they go there, the Nepali worker gets the least paid because they think that Nepalis are not trained at all. You will see a Nepali driver in, let's say, Dubai, Doha, everywhere. He gets less than an Indian driver. He gets half the pay that an Indian driver is getting. Why? Because there is an impression that a Nepali who has gone out does not have the capability, does not have the certificate, they are only untrained labor. Let us change that picture. Let those young people who go out go with pride and not face the problems that they are facing now. I think there we have to have a policy here that we do not only send them out. Of course they are a backbone for our economy just now. But you've heard also that the remittance is something that's pulling us, the country through just now. But we need to send them out so that they earn more and bring back more. The other thing is, when they come back, let them not just sit there. Those who have trained them, you've seen that, and I think you know many times, some of them who come back have done agriculture, and they're doing very well. Why not train them back into agriculture? Or now, after the earthquake, there is a lot need for reconstruction. We need carpenters, we need masons, we need electricians, we need plumbers. Even just now, when we look for a plumber, you can't find one. You have to get an Indian to do this plumbing. Why don't we train our own people? They will earn the money. They will stay back in the country. They will not go out to face all that terrible, terrible situation outside. I think those are the things that we should do. So, but the main thing that I would like to say as a private sector, that train the people in that field and give them the training that they are employable. After the training, they should go as apprentices in different works. That we should support them until they are skilled. They get the technical training, but then they have to be skilled to be useful. So let them get the apprenticeship, let them be trained, then they are saleable. Then they can demand and earn. I just would like to say, I don't want to go on with that, but there's a lot of things that I heard this morning which was very good and I'm very happy that most of the people who spoke talked about the private sector, that is the sector where people can be employed, so that there should be a coordination between the private sector and the sector that is giving the training. And the other one is that the trainings are going on, but a coordination, cooperation between the training organizations so that Tibet knows where the training is happening, what training is happening, and that they are the source to give information to the employers that these are the people available, this is where they are available. Maybe you have trainees in Ilam or in any other place, not in Kathmandu Valley only. But if an employer wants somebody trained in Ilam, we should be able to tell them, this is available, this is where you can get. I think that is what the main thing that from a private sector, I would like to say that the trainings should be such that they are really standard and quality, and these people then should be encouraged to work first before they go out, before they are thrown into the jungle. They should be equipped, and those who are staying back, that they should be equipped to hear. Important, as I said, agriculture. We should be training in agriculture, especially the women now who are there to do mechanical